Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Snam's 2015 first quarter results presentation. Let me start with a short comment outlining the main financial highlights. This quarter, we have maintained our strong track record of delivery with an increase of more than 11% in net profit, demonstrating the robustness of our business model. Furthermore, our strong operating cash flow generation fully financed overall CapEx spending during the quarter and ensured that our level of net debt remained under control at 13.2 billion euro at the end of March. We remain committed to maintaining a solid and efficient capital structure, which is further underpinned by the ongoing optimization initiatives we are carrying out. In terms of developments in the distribution business, we have recently completed the 100% acquisition of Akam Gas that will be consolidated in our accounts starting from April 2015. With that, I will now hand you over to Antonio, who will discuss our first quarter consolidated result in more detail.
Thank you, Carlo, and good afternoon, everyone. I am now going to run you through Snam's 2015 first quarter financial results. The first quarter shows a sound net profit which grew by 11% to 325 million euro. The slight decrease in operating results, which I will comment in more detail on the following slides, was mainly due to the storage activity where, starting from April 2014, the timing profile in tariffs has changed, switching from a seasonal to a more constant outline and affecting in particular the comparison between first quarter 2014 and the first quarter 2015. The growth in net profit was supported by the reduction in net interest income due to an average cost of debt just below 3%, and the higher contribution of income tax for associates, driven by the consolidation of TAG and the positive effect on the Robin Hood tax cancellation. First quarter 2015, total revenues amounted to 929 million euro, with an increase of 22 million compared to the first quarter 2014. Regulated revenues, net of pass-through items, increased by 10 million, up 1.2%, reflecting the following performances by business segment. Transport revenues registered an increase of 5 million compared to the same period of 2014. The positive contribution from the investment carried out in 2013, equal to 19 million euro, was partially balanced by the tariff adjustments of around 14 million euro. Distribution revenues grew by 24 million, thanks to the positive tariff adjustment and the contribution of S.A. Torino of 17 million, consolidated from July 2014. Storage revenues decreased by 19 million, mainly due to the effects of the already commented different timing profile in tariff mechanism. At the year end, we expect storage regulated revenues almost in line with the previous year. The increase in pass-through revenues is mainly due to the overall gas transport system balancing services. Other revenues amounted to 31 million, an increase of 6 million compared to the first quarter 2014, mainly due to the disposal of gas inventories not used for the operating activities in the transport business, partially offset by the non-recurring revenues of 13 million accounted in 2014 and related to the contractual agreements between Eni and Stogit as part of activities connected to the legislative decree 130 2010, the effect of which expired in the first quarter 2015. Moving to operating expenses, total costs amounted to 212 million euro in the first quarter 2015. Net of pass-through items, operating costs were 172 million, with an increase of 31 million euro. This was primarily due to the growth of 20 million euro in non-regulated activities due to the disposal of gas inventories previously commented. In addition, controllable fixed costs recorded an increase of 14 million, mainly due to the consolidation of S.A. Torino, with an impact of around 4 million euro, and a decrease in the amount of internal costs allocated to investment activities in the distribution segment. We are putting in place all the measures to minimize this effect in order to confirm our targets in terms of controllable fixed costs at the year end. Other costs equal to 14 million euro decreased by 3 million, all due to lower risk fund provisions. As a consequence of the above, consolidated EBIT amounted to 510 million, with a decrease of 32 million as a result of the increase in regulated revenues of 10 million, the increase in controllable fixed cost of 14 million, the increase in depreciation and amortization of 17 million. This rise is higher than the organic depreciation growth because of the changes in the business parameter for the inclusion of AS Torino and the new shorter technical lifetime of some metering assets in the distribution segment. Finally, other negative effects of 11 million mainly reflected to the changes in non-regulated storage revenues, which I previously commented on. Now I would like to conclude the review of income statement by commenting on the net profit performance. First quarter 2015 net profit was 325 million, up 11.3% compared to the same period of 2014. Analyzing the item below EBIT, net profit growth has been supported by, firstly, the reduction in interest expenses of 6 million, essentially due to a lower average cost of debt. Secondly, by an increase in net income from associates of 19 million, mainly due to TAG, which started contributing at the beginning of 2015, further supported by other associates in our portfolio, TIGF in particular, and partially mitigated by the effects of AS Torino consolidation. Finally, a reduction in income taxes of around 40 million due to the lower taxable income following the Robin Hood tax cancellation. Now let me give you the update on the progresses achieved on the debt structure side. With regard to debt capital market, in January Snam tapped again the market by issuing a 250 million euro bond with a maturity of 8 years and a fixed rate coupon of 1.5%, therefore supporting our goal to have an average maturity of our outstanding medium to long-term debt consistent with our business and the regulatory profile. Looking at the European Investment Bank financing, I would like to highlight the optimization of our portfolio following the cancellation of 300 million euro of relatively expensive financings and a new loan of 200 million euro related to a Snam Rete Gas infrastructure project. Examining treasury management optimization, let me underline the important role played by the uncommitted credit lines also in the first quarter 2015, which enabled Snam to benefit from the abundant market liquidity and favorable interest rate scenario. These measures, together with the full effect of the optimization exercise carried out in 2014, made it possible to achieve an average cost of debt of around 2.9% in the first quarter 2015, in line with the full year 2015 guidance announced during our latest strategy presentation. Turning to the free cash flow, Snam generated a positive cash flow from operations of 653 million in the first quarter of 2015, fully financing net investment of 200 million and resulting in a positive free cash flow of 453 million euro. The working capital cash generation of 178 million was mainly related to an increase in tax payables of around 144 due to income taxes accrued in the quarter. Moving to net investment, cash absorption from net capex in our Italian regulated businesses amounted to 284 million euro in the period, partially offset by 84 million cash in coming from the reduction of Snam's stake in TIGF. Finally, turning to the balance sheet, net invested capital amounted to 20.8 billion euro, substantially in line with 2014, with an increase in fixed assets compensated by the change in the working capital. Net financial debt at the end of the first quarter amounted to 13.2 billion, a decrease of 0.4 billion euro compared to the year-end 2014, due to the positive free cash flow generation already commented on. Thank you very much for your attention. We are now pleased to answer any question you may have.
Thank you. If you would like to ask a question at this time, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Please ensure that the mute function on your telephone is switched off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. We will now pause for just a moment to allow anyone to signal. We will now take our first question from Harry Wyburd from Merrill Lynch. Please go ahead.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my questions. So the first one is on your associate income. I noticed that you had what looked like a particularly high amount of associate income in the first quarter. I think it was 41 million, and you previously guided to a full year income of around 100 million euros, if I'm not wrong. Please could you comment on why that number looks particularly high? Is there an accounting or revaluation impact in there? And then secondly, on gas distribution, I wondered if you could update us on the potential scope for expanding your market share. I know you've said before that you could grow that by about 10% from just over 30%, just over 40%, and spending about 1 billion euros in the process. Do you continue to believe that's the addressable scope? Could it indeed be a bit higher? And also, is there scope to grow in gas distribution through acquisitions as well as through going for new concessions? Thanks.
Starting from the first one, the easier one. The net income from associates in the first quarter amounted, as Previously said, amounted to 41 million, and recording an increase of 19 million euros. The increase is mainly due, first of all, to the contribution of TAG. We have accounted a result of something more than 20 million euro. And secondly, the higher contribution of TAGF. The higher contribution of TAGF with respect to the previous period was in the range of 4 million euro, a total contribution in the first quarter of 9 million. Both these increases are partially offset by the consolidation of AS Torino from July 2014, which means around 10 million euro. More in detail, the remarkable contribution of TAG is mainly driven by the high seasonality of certain costs and maintenance in particular. For TAGF, also for TAGF, we believe that the first quarter are positively affected by a portion of revenues that cannot be considered valid, let me say, for the full year, and therefore we prefer to maintain a prudent approach and not to consider the level of the first quarter results as a significant reference for the full year. Over the full year, the contribution for our associates can be still estimated slightly above 100 million euro.
For the second question, Italgas is, today the market leader in the Italian distribution with 1/3 of the total market share. And in addition, we have to consider then 75% of its current business is carried out in gas areas where it holds a leading or relevant market share. There is the reason why today all the rules for the new auctions are set, and we are ready to participate proactively to the consolidation process that will start by the end of the year. We estimate the first auction starting from end of 2015, and I confirm our aims to increase our current market share. we consider a target market share of 40-45% an appropriate quota for triggering further economies of scale and maximizing our returns. The new investment opportunity to be pursued are estimated to be approximately of 1.2 billion euro, which will be spread over the auction time frame. So we can consider 3-4 years. Let me remind you that these additional investments are not today included in the present 4 years CapEx plan.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We will now take our next question from Cosimo Panzacchi. You may now go ahead. Your line is open.
Thank you. Cosimo Panzacchi from Bernstein. Just 3 questions on the overall picture. First of all, regarding the effect of the Robin Hood tax on your accounts. After the decision of the Supreme Court on Italian pensions, which has created an additional need for the government budget of several billion euros, is there a risk that one of the measures that Mr. Padoan will announce in the coming days will be a partial reintroduction of the Robin Hood tax or the increase of other taxes on the energy sector? What's your view on this aspect? Secondly, talking in front of the Senate on May 6, you have stressed the need for a transparent and stable regulatory framework and advocated the stability of the remuneration level and the sterilization of the effects of the extraordinary measures, such as the QE carried out by the ECB. What has been the reaction of the senators after your speech? And do you expect any reflections in any way on your current discussion with the regulator on the rate of return? And finally, regarding instead the overall strategic vision on the North-South corridor, yesterday, if I'm not wrong, the works on the TAP project in Puglia have been partially blocked by the local municipality due to environmental considerations. The Porto Empedocle LNG terminal is now on sale from Enel, and North African gas volumes seem to remain fickle also from your numbers. In this context, do you think that the position of Italy as a gas hub along the North-South corridor is still credible? And if not, would you be open to reconsider some parts of your strategy? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Starting from the Robin Hood tax, you remember that the Robin Hood was set considering the strong margin linked to the oil price 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. So there is no reason today, there is no the condition to restart with the same type of tax anyway. So I don't think that the decision will be to set a new Robin Hood tax. I think I don't know how the government will resolve the problem of the cash, but frankly speaking, today there is not a condition to increase the taxes, especially in the energy sector. We can consider, for example, the reduction of the CO2 or environmental impact with the possibility to increase in this way the taxes, but in this case there is no impact in our business. For the second question, frankly speaking, my opinion in terms of the update of the regulatory framework is that all the regulatory business need very clear visibility and stability in the return of the return set by the regulator. My comments were not in terms of risk-free walk or risk premium, but anyway the comment was that I think it's positive that the regulators have the possibility to check each 2 years the economic and financial condition. But the only reason to change the parameters are linked to very strong change in the financial or economic condition. I don't think that we can manage the business with the medium long terms, with the visibility, with the strong change in the parameters each 2 years. This is the reason why I expect that all this type of consideration will be taken into account by the regulators. For the third question, we are the corridor, the north-south corridor, is very strategic to put in place our strategy in developing the hub, the interconnection from Italy to the center of Europe. And we started 3 years ago, to analyze the possibility to create the same condition of reverse flow capacity outside Italy. This is the consequence of the memorandum of understanding we signed with Fluxys, and today the main objective, the main result of the memorandum is that we are investing in Italy for the reverse flow capacity, and there is the commitment to invest outside Italy, in Switzerland and in Germany, to create the same condition of reverse flow capacity starting from 2018. So there is the main, I think, the main objective and the strategic aspect for the investment we are doing in Italy. It's clear that with Fluxys and with the other operators, not only with Fluxys, we are trying to put in place some commercial strategy in terms of the selling capacity, the application of the network code, the European network code. But in terms of increase our participation directly in the network in Switzerland and Germany, today we are discussing, we are analyzing the possibility, but we don't have on the table today some new deal in this respect. I repeat that the main aspect is to have the possibility to finalize for our clients the possibility of a reverse flow contract without risk of bottleneck outside Italy. In terms of the possibility to create and to set all the investment for developing and strong interconnection from Italy to the center of Europe, today the government is pushing all the authorization to increase the new supply of gas from the Caucasian area. Is the TAP is an example. It's true that there is today some discussion in terms of local authorization, but frankly speaking, the environmental authorization and construction authorization are completely set and approved by the government today. So I don't think that could be some delay in constructing, building, and in respecting the 2020 deadline that the deadline set by the TAP consortium. It's true that in the national energy strategy, I think you remember the possibility of the new LNG of 8 BCM is a point is very, let me say, clear in the energy strategy in Italy. I think that today is the moment to restart with the investment in the LNG plant. You know, in the last 2 or 3 years, the long-term contract with LNG were very difficult. The price in the East, in Asia, were higher than in Europe. But today, the condition in the medium-long terms will be perfect, in my opinion, to be ready with the LNG loading possibility starting from 2020, 2021. There is the reason why I expect that in terms of new rules provided by the regulators for the return of investment in the LNG will be rediscussed, and frankly speaking, we are ready if we have all the conditions set by the regulators in terms of return of investment without commodity risk to analyze some new investment in the LNG plants.
We will now take our next question from Javier Suarez from Mediobanca. Please go ahead. Your line is now open.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for taking my question. I have 3. The first one is a follow-up on the higher equity line contribution. We have seen a contribution for 41 million euros. The question is if you could break down this number by the different activities, that is TAG, TIGF, the UK interconnector, and the Italian activities. The second question is on the taxation. Apart from the higher contribution from the equity line, we have seen also a particularly low taxation. The question is, can you guide us for your expectation for the level of taxation for the full year 2015? Then, a question on gas storage. When do you think that the tariff for 2015 for gas storage is going to be approved? And since there has been several changes on during the first quarter 2015, can you guide us on your expectation for the revenues and maybe EBITDA for the gas storage activity in the year 2015? And then the final question is on other revenues. I think that on the strategic presentation you said to be in negotiations for some additional remuneration for some new services that were pending to be approved by the Italian energy regulator. Can you update us on these conversations with the regulator and your expectation or your updated expectation on these additional revenues? Many thanks.
Starting from the first one, more visibility about the income from associates. In the first quarter 2015, the 41 million is composed as follows. First of all, the Italian distribution means a contribution of 6 million, which is mainly Toscana Energia. The international activity has a contribution of 35 million, 24 TAG, 9 TIGF, and 2 the interconnector. Second question is about tax, the tax rate and the forecast for the full year. The corporate tax rate in the first quarter, Xavier, is below 30%, 29% actually. The tax rate in the first quarter of 2014 was close to 37%. The difference is mainly due to 4 elements. The first one is for sure the cancellation of the Robin tax, which means 6.5% to be applied on the transportation and on the distribution. The second element is the increase of the ACE benefit following the higher operating company's equity. The third element is the lower IRAP. Remember that as from January 2015, labor cost is deductible from IRAP. And the last element is the growing effect of the participation which are valued using the equity method. It is important to say, I would say, two comments. The first comment is that in particular, the ACE benefit and the positive effect coming from the positive effect in terms of lower tax rate, coming from the higher result of associates, is concentrated in the first quarter, and then the first quarter tax rate reduction is particularly significant. I would not consider this. It is not correct to consider this level as the reference for the full year. The second comment is that the tax rate of our operating companies, which Snam Gas, Italgas, Stogit, and so on, today are at the level of around 33%. The tax rate is 33%, and the cash rate 36-37%. So the lower consolidated tax rate is mainly due to the results from the non-consolidated associates that receive contribution received by the corporate, and on which tax has been already paid. So for the full year, I would maintain a tax rate at the corporate level, so the consolidated one, in the range of 32%. The third question was about the revenues in the storage activities. Two comments on that. First of all, in the first quarter, we have booked the reduction in the regulated revenues, which, as I was trying to explain before, is mainly due to the effect of the new rules, and in particular to a different timing profile in the tariff mechanism, which switched from a seasonal to a constant outline. I remember that until March 2014, the commodity component revenues was concentrated in the first quarter. Anyway, for that element, so I'm talking about regulated revenues, at the year end, we expect storage regulated revenues almost in line with the previous year. The second element for the revenues in the storage business segment is the reduction in the non-regulated revenues, which refers essentially to the agreement related to the legislative decree 130, which following which we have 13 million euros of lower revenues. The agreement ceases to have its effect in the first quarter 2015.
For the next question, the gas storage tariff, we expect, as usual, the approval of the tariffs by end of July. Anyway, today we provide some comment to the regulator, and we are discussing. In particular, in the fourth regulatory period, the extra remuneration of 4% is recognized to all the investment entered into operation by year-end 2014, and we are discussing with the regulator in order to get by the deadline for the final approval of the tariff proposal the recognition of the extra return also to work in progress strictly related to the legislative decree 130. For the new services, we provide our analysis to the regulators, and we expect the discussion in the following months to have the possibility of approval part of the new services, the regulated new service, by the end of the year, with the possibility of new revenue starting from 2016. I think it's not easy today to estimate the revenue, but we can consider that our estimate was for the all new services of around 40 million euro, and specifically the regulated service is roughly 40% of 40-50% of the total new services.
Many thanks.
Thank you. We will now take our next question from Enrico Bartoli from MainFirst. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. A few questions on my side. First of all, one question related to the line of other revenues. If I remember well, you had some positive one-offs last year. This year, actually, this figure has increased. Could you please elaborate a bit on that and specify if you had any one-offs also in the first quarter 2015? Then possibly if you can give us the RAB value of ACAM, that I guess will be in your total RAB by the end of this year. And if you can give us a guidance on the net debt that you expect by the end of 2015 after the reduction in your stake in TGF and the acquisition of ACAM. And finally, if you have any visibility on the possible timing for a preliminary document by the authority on the new regulation on the WACC calculation. Thank you.
First point, other revenues. You are right. In the first quarter 2014, we had the 13 million revenues, non-recurring revenues coming from the contract with ENI in the storage segment. This quarter, we have another element of revenues to be considered non-recurring, which is the sale, the disposal of gas inventories not used for the operating activities in the amount of 22-23 million euros. The difference is that on the other side of our profit and loss, we have for the use for the disposal of this gas cost for around 19 million. So the impact of this element on our EBIT is negligible. We are talking about a positive impact of 2-3 million euros. As far as ACAM RAB is concerned, it is 100 million euro. The guideline in terms of our debt at the end of the year, the guidance remain what we said in the strategy presentation, 13.8, 13.9 billion euros. I remember that the guidance at the time was given also taking into account the income from the cash-in from the transaction with the Crédit Agricole, which at the time was already considered.
The last question is the update of the regulatory framework, the WACC.
Yeah. If you have any visibility on the possible timing on that.
We expect the consultation document in the following weeks, and so by the end of May, beginning of June, and so we expect the consultation document.
Just one further point commenting the guidance, which I think is important, the guidance on our financial debt, which is important. I would like to underline that the guidance, the final number will depend on the item related to the balancing mechanism, which will have an impact on our net working capital. This will depend on the position that our shippers will take, our counterparts will take at the end of the year, and in relation to the evolution of the regulation.
Thank you. We will now take our next question from Stefano Gamberini from Equita. Please go ahead. Your line is now open.
Good afternoon, everybody. 3 questions, if I may. First of all, regarding the international assets, you said that you are working with Fluxys. Could you update us in order to understand if you are actually working in a merger of these assets or not, or which is the other solution that you are working on? And second, when we could expect a final come out of this agreement. The second question regarding the distribution, you said that you are ready to invest up to 1.2 billion euros in the tenders. What is the environment that you expect? First of all, clearly, do you expect a further postponement? Because on the other side, we know that the loser of this situation are the small local utilities. And second, do you expect some other big players that could enter on the market and so become the competition tougher? The third question regarding the consultation paper. Do you expect the regulator will already disclose a sort of range of return, or this consultation paper is, in your view, mainly focused on different systems that could be applied, or also, as you asked, a change also in the timing of the update, of the regular update of the work? Many thanks.
Starting from the first question, I said before that the South-North corridor is very strategic for us, but is strategic in terms of having the possibility of strong interconnection from Italy to the center of Europe. This is the reason why the main aspect we tried to commit and to agree, are the possibility of setting the booking capacity and the commercial rules. If there will be some opportunity along such corridor of acquisition, we are ready to analyze the opportunity, but today we have not on the table specific discussion or specific acquisition. And anyway, we have to consider only we have to consider the acquisition if they prove value creative. So today there is a lot of discussion, but frankly speaking, we are concentrated today in let me say, understand the best managing process of a TAG, of which we have we need. Our objective is to create more synergy, more cost reduction. So our approach will be very pragmatic. So we are analyzing all the acquisition in line, I repeat, of our strategy in the corridor north-south, but only if we can prove value creative. For the distribution, we know it's true that we have to monitoring and to follow a lot of auction in a small municipality. But we have to consider that 75% of the current business is from Italgas, is carried out in gas areas where Italgas is leading and have a relevant market share. So is in terms of possibility, in terms of advantages we have in bidding are very strong, considering that we are leading in 75% of the new area, over 177 new bidding area. The consultation. The last question was for the consultation paper of transmission, the new update.
Regarding the work.
Regarding the work, frankly speaking, I think is a question for the regulator. I don't know. Usually, I don't know. The final decision will be by the end of the year. And so I imagine that in the consultation document, there are all the criteria to have the possibility to receive the comment by all stakeholders. I don't know, frankly speaking, that will be some specific number or range of work.
Just a brief follow-up, if I may, regarding this negotiation for booking capacity on North-South corridor. When do you expect that you could reach an agreement in order to understand also when this service, at value service, could start at international level?
We have an agreement today, and in the press in the last 3 or 4 months, sometimes we had the possibility to read the spot release by Fluxys and by Fluxys in Switzerland or in Germany. The reason is that we have today commercial agreement to push, to increase the possibility of booking capacity in the corridor north-south. So there is no today risk of bottleneck or risk when we are ready of the physical reverse flow in terms of commercial aspect.
Many thanks.
Thank you. We will now take our next question from Olivier Van Dusseler from Exane. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. I just have 2 questions. One is on the gas hub and the reverse capacities. I guess that also implies that you still expect more capacity to come in Italy over the years to come, and I guess that the idea that the TAP pipeline will play an important role. So I was wondering if you could update us on whether or not you believe that everything is still going as scheduled there, and when you think that pipeline will be commissioned. And then the second one is on Italgas. If you could give us an update on the investigation in southern Italy with regards to any potential corruption over there. Thank you.
Thank you. For TAP, the deadline, the time frame for the full capacity, the full import capacity is end of 2020. Starting from 2021, the first year there was some, let me say, capacity, possibility of capacity, but the full will be beginning of 2021. We are following and we are in discussion with the TAP consortium for the connection with the network, Italian network. But there is, what I can say, my feeling is that there is a strong interest in signing the long-term contract with the new gas of TAP. And so what we expect is that by 2021 there is the possibility in the Italian network to sign the new transmission contract of the gas coming from TAP. For the second question, the preventive measure is drawing to its conclusion, and we confidently await for the final decision of the Court of Palermo in the sense of return of our management in Torino. So we need, a restart with our management, and frankly speaking, we are confidently await for the final decision.
Okay, thank you very much.
As a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. We will now take our next question from Pablo Cuardo from HSBC. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. Just very quick question. It's a follow-up actually on the net debt. Is for Antonio. You mentioned the guidance that is unchanged on the net debt, 13.9. But also you comment that that could be dependent on the working capital developments on the gas balancing system. So the question is that I have here, because I'm not so sure that I got the right impression, is that the 13.8 or 13.9 billion, the guidance that you presented at the business plan, assumes that the positive working capital that we have seen during Q1 is going to stay, or on the other way around, if the working capital is not staying, the net debt should be higher. Just to be 100% clear.
No, the guidance assumes a working capital flow neutral for this year. So assuming not to have to use cash or to have a source of cash coming from the balancing activities, so a neutral working capital, change in working capital, 13.8 and 13.9 is the guidance.
All right. Very, very clear. Thank you, Antonio.
Okay, thank you to everybody for all your questions. If you need any follow-up or additional information, please contact the IR department. Good afternoon, everybody.